I was thinking the other day about my first experience of computers in schools. When I was in Year 5, my primary school bought a computer, and there were 4 lucky students who were chosen to use the computer in that first term. Shortly after that, I ended up at a school where there was a computer lab, and again, only very special classes were allowed to access the computers. As time passed, we started to get more than one lab in a school, and as time passed, the computers went from having floppy disk drives through to having bigger and bigger disk drives, and now we find ourselves in the situation where computer labs have almost become redundant. And instead of thinking about students going to a computer lab to do their learning, the computers come to them. We're really excited at the significant step we're taking forward in Stage 2 this year. We're looking forward to the opportunity the students have to engage with mobile computing, where they have a computer which enables them to connect with the outside world whenever and however that becomes useful for their learning. It is a brave new world that we're exploring. We don't know what the future for computing is going to be by the time these little ones are hitting Year 12. But we do know that pretending it's not there does not serve them well. And we also know that if their only encounters with computers are for playing or for being entertained, then they're not being served well for the future either. I trust that you enjoy finding out about our Stage 2 laptop program with the Google Chromebooks, and we look forward to the future.
Hi, my name is Jason Hosking. I'm the Stage 2 coordinator, and I'm currently teaching Year 4 here at Inaburra. We're here to launch the Chromebook program to the parents and also to the students today. We've got our guru in IT here with us, Brian, and so thank you for coming along and having a chat today.
No problem.
We're setting up this so that we can ask a couple of questions that you might have, so that you can be a little bit clearer on why it is that we're chosen the Chromebook and what some of the potential is of this new device, which some of us may not be all that aware of. So, Brian, we have technology in every area of our lives.
Yes.
Why is it becoming more important in education?
Okay, you are correct, Jason, in that technology is everywhere in our lives, whether at home or at work. It's very much there. The internet is growing, and the power of what you can do on the internet is increasing. You look at the NBN, it's rolling out across Australia at the moment, and many of us are connecting to it. Likewise, at school, we are embedding technology because we see it as one of the best practices to enable our students for lifelong learning, to be able to have the ability to use technology appropriately. And that doesn't necessarily mean just surf the internet, but actually embed it. We want to be in front, not behind. So by using technology appropriately and teaching students how to use technology appropriately, we find that our students will have the ability to be lifelong learners.
So that ties in with both 21st century skills as well as our Inaburra learner profile. So that's a really important aspect of that. So we're launching Chromebooks tonight. Why a Chromebook? We've got laptops, we've got iPads, we've got iPods, iPhones. How come we've chosen to go for the Chromebook?
Yep, that's a really good question. Well, basically, each of those devices have an operating system, and in a Chromebook, it has an operating system, but as opposed to Windows or a Mac operating system, it actually runs an operating system called Chrome. It's pretty much the web browser that you would currently use on your device, but it's been revved up a little bit to run your device. So that's what a Chromebook is, and from that point, we've found that Chrome works very, very effectively on our network. It is cost effective, so we can have many students using these devices without breaking budgets, and we can then find that everything that we use, whether it's HTML5, so the web browsing, Flash works on it, as well as apps, different apps that we use, they all work very well on this device.
So I'm not going to have a problem with Study Ladder,
no.
As we have in the past.
Yes, or Mathletics, for example.
Mathletics. Oh, that's a relief, I'm sure. So you're telling me that the students are going to be using a Google Apps
Yep.
processor, so it runs on apps,
Yes.
and it runs on those sorts of programs. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yep. So by having everything use the Chrome browser, everything then is stored on the internet. So it's backed up on the Google Drive. So students, when they access their work, they are actually accessing via the internet their work. So anything that they create, whether it's a Word document, or what we would call a Word document in Google Docs, it's not called a Word document. It is word processor or a Google Doc. It's created on the internet and then stored on the internet.
So the students won't be unfamiliar with the use of apps.
No. You look at so many students currently, they have other devices which use apps. It's just taking it from one device across to another, the same skill set.
So the device that they have, they're not going to be able to take that home.
No.
That's going to be a school-based device. Yet we're going to be able to see exactly the same thing on their computer at home if opened up in Chrome.
Yes.
So if we download the Chrome browser at home, and I'd be able to see everything the same that it would look like at school as it would in my Google Drive here back at school and at home.
As long as you're signed in, that is the key thing. Students need to be logged in at home or signed in at home and logged in at school as well. So basically, once they've signed in Google Chrome or set up a user account at either place, the files will just be able to be drawn down and accessed from anywhere.
And so that's using their Inaburra account name.
That's correct.
No worries. So what are some of the specific areas that you can see that we're going to be able to impact with the Chromebooks in a positive way?
Yep. I would say that it would almost touch every area of education within our school. More specifically though, maths is a prime example where you want to have manipulatives. You can actually use those manipulatives on the Chromebook. In science, you can conduct a science experiment which you potentially wouldn't have the equipment for or legally allowed to do, but you can create that on the Chromebook, and again, it's safe. With literacy, you'll be able to write, record, create different types of media such as videos, photos. You can do writing, so that will be all on one device. So if we compare that to just a book that we had, we would have had to take a photo, then print it out and then stick it in, where we can do that and it's already there ready to use for our piece of work.
So it's essentially using the world that they live in a lot already, which is the internet and which is the digital world, and we're moving that into our education.
Yeah.
With that in mind, where we're moving that digital world into the classroom, does that mean that our bookwork is going to be going, our writing, our drawing, our art, is that all going digital as well, or are we going to be maintaining or should we be maintaining some of that in the classroom?
You're right, some of it will move digital, but majority of it won't. There is massive amounts of body of research that states that children still need the physical growth motor skill of writing. So things like handwriting, students will be still doing that, and that it shows that for their cognitive development they need to have that skill. So handwriting will definitely remain. Same as art, that's that gross motor skill which you still want to have. You don't want a whole generation of students graduating year 12 and not being able to do any artwork. So there are going to be things that we do in the classroom that may be touched by it but won't be replaced by it. It'll be, I suppose, a good way of describing it is there'll be some modification, there'll be some replacement, but it's not replacing everything.
So the device will be another resource
Yes.
that is in the classroom, and it's one per student, so it'll always be available to them. but it's not going to be taking over everything.
No. It is a tool. It's not designed to be an extra subject or something extra for teachers to use. It is a tool in the classroom, just like, for example, in maths, we've got boxes of dice or boxes of counters. We use them as tools for specific purposes to meet the student's outcome.
So it's just another resource.
Yeah.
Good to hear. So hopefully that's answered some of the questions that you will have had, and we're happy to discuss any more things that we need to, but yeah, that might clear it up, and thank you for listening.
So as the centre of our school's Chromebook program, we are looking to be able to make a good connection between home and school. And so we'll have Chromebooks in the classroom, but we won't be sending them home to students. And initially we thought that would be a good idea, but we've changed our mind because we've discovered that it's very easy to actually set up the Chrome browser so it simulates at home what it's like for the students to use the Chromebooks at school. So if you're not sure about this, it doesn't matter if you're on a Mac or a PC, you can get a browser called Chrome. And to get Chrome, it's made by Google, you can simply go Chrome and do a search, and it will tell you how to download it and install it. Now, a number of you probably already have Chrome at home, and it's probably set up with a Gmail account or some other account which is already attached to Google's work. What we want to do, as you can see here, is I actually have 3 Google accounts running, and what we want you to do is to add the student's account so that they can access their files and their work from home. So in some senses you could just come here and add a person, but if you haven't added a person before, you may need to come up to these 3 lines up here, go to the settings section, and then down over here you'll be able to add a person as well. So when you press add a person, they get a whole lot of pictures they can choose from. So I might grab smiley face, and I'm going to put in Dave Collins, and I'm going to put it in as a student so I can remember nice and clearly that that's what it's for. I'm going to go add. The first thing that will happen once this goes from there is you'll get a screen asking you to be able to sign into Chrome. And so I'm going to put in my fake student address. I'm not a student at the school, but I have one for demonstration purposes. Please don't email me at this address. And my password, I'm going to press sign in. And once it's signed in, it's going to ask me, do I want to link this to some other data that we have? And I'm going to say, yes, that's fine. Linking data is the right option. And over here now, I have an icon with a picture, and I'm logged in. Now, a number of the things that we set up for the students at school are now available to us here. For example, the mail is available in that section. If I come up here to the section here, it says who I am there. I can switch persons, and I can move easily between my different accounts, which for me is a lot easier for the students to be able to navigate which they're in rather than having to log in and out all the time. Also through the people menu, I'm not sure why the image hasn't worked for me in this case, but now I've got access to the files and the work that students do at school. So if we needed to check their mail, we could do that here. Or if we wanted to go to Drive, that would also be possible there. And then we'd be able to see the students' Drive folders. Now the good thing is that when they work on a Chromebook at home or at school, whatever their work is that is done here, as long as they put it in the appropriate folders, their teachers will be able to see the work they're doing and be able to keep a good eye on what they are going through. If I just go back to that home page now, notice how I've got an apps section here. If I click on this, this actually has some apps, and these probably won't be the ones we actually will use in 3rd and 4th grade, which the school has said we want you to have a go at and use. And so some stages the teachers will add apps to the desktops here, and then they'll be able to access them at home as well. And there's other ways they could do that as well, but this is probably the simplest way. We can go from there. In time, there will also be some imported bookmarks across the top. The bottom line is, very simply, if they have this set up at home where they have a person set up for them as a student, I might just see if we can get that to be exactly the way I want it to be. I really do want that smiley face, and I'm just going to put student next to here and press save. Hopefully now when I come up here to the window, I've got my little icon, which is very helpful. If I press home, I get back to here. And this is a fantastic system we've found for students being able to do work and have their teachers drop in and give them feedback. It means that if they're working at home, potentially a teacher could even drop in and see as they are working on it at that point in time. Obviously, majority of the time it's going to be a case of working in the classroom and using the devices there. But if the students want to be able to extend or do other work, this is a really handy system. Hope that's helpful for you. Hope that makes sense. If in the end you get stuck with any of the technical aspects of today, obviously you can rewind the video and watch it and pause it step by step. The other method that could be helpful for you if you get really stuck is to contact Mr. Host or myself, Mr. Collins.
In 1984, I unpacked my very first computer in a classroom in a little place called Quilpie in Western Queensland. It was an Apple II, big box, green screen monitor, Turtle logo, I remember vividly, was the first program that I was able to teach to my Year 2 and Year 3 students at that time. It's 2015, we've come an awful long way since then. Mobile devices are the name of the game, and the Chromebooks program that we're planning to implement with Years 3 and 4 is going to be right at the cutting edge of cloud technology, cloud computing, and it's a great opportunity for our students to be learning anywhere, anytime, anyhow about what makes their world tick. It's their stuff, far more than ours, and I'm very much looking forward to sharing that learning journey with you and with your students over the next 9 months. Please don't forget to complete the attached slip that tells us that you've watched the video, and let's get going on what's going to be a very, very exciting time in the life of your child.